Hashtag relationship goals. Is it just about being admired, or are goals essential to a successful relationship? Welcome to the Journey to Forever podcast, where we discuss the highs and lows of life and love. Join us, your hosts, Flo and
Joe,
for a weekly recalculation of our roots as we navigate the twists and turns with candid conversation, comfort food, and laughter. Hi, Forever family. As you would have heard in our intro, our topic today involves relationship goals. But as we record this podcast, it's a rainy day here in TNT. So our date idea for this episode is a hot chocolate contest to keep you warm and a conversation around, you guessed it, relationship goals. But before we get into the thick of things, let's warm up with a little bit of What's Your Story?
Hi folks, good afternoon, good day, good morning, wherever you might be. I have a question for Flo. Flo, got a story to share about an unwanted creature such as a mouse in your house?
Cockroach in your petticoat. If you're Trini, you know that song. It's not about a mouse, but as you guessed, it's about a cockroach. So I was a teenager and I'd gotten home on a Thursday evening from a church service and was standing on the balcony just outside our back door, talking to someone on the phone. I can't recall who exactly at this point in time, but I had on a long skirt, a long flowing skirt. And during the conversation, I felt something like scratching my leg. It's like, what is that? So I lift up the hem of my skirt just to check to see. Maybe it was a mosquito or something. I don't know. Lo and behold, I saw one big black nasty cockroach. Like he crawled up from below the stairs or something and land on my leg. Listen, I never stripped so fast in my life. I didn't care who saw me. I was just
show for the neighbors.
I was just taking everything off, screaming. And my mother's like, what is wrong? I couldn't even get the words out.
Don't worry, I have a friend who I believe may be worse than you with the fear of cockroaches. It's a fear, you could say it's a phobia. So, what question do you have for me?
Got a story to share about a time when you were utterly and helplessly lost while driving?
Oh, yes, I do. It was in my early 20s. And for some reason, most of my interesting stories like that start with, well, it was me and Dom. For some reason, that's how my stories start, the interesting ones. Well, Dom had to go visit a family member in Sandy Grande. And, well, if you all know, Sandy Grande is what people consider countryside. So, there we were, an afternoon, it was about 3 o'clock, and it's about a 2.5 hour drive from where we were. So, when we got to Sandy Grande, we had to go off the beaten path. So, it had a fork in the road. So, if you take one way, it will end up where we're supposed to be heading. So, obviously, we took the other way. And as we drove, civilization just became less and less like, wait now. I know, but we going still. There we go. So we decided we'd look in house, and the space between houses just got bigger. So eventually, we stopped seeing houses. There was only mango trees, like, okay. Then there was only balize and mango trees. I was like, Oh, wait, no. This not too right. You know, so we drove about half hour. And it's like, all right, this could never be the right way. So we turned around because it's like, nah, this wrong. So we turned around, got back to the fork in the road and took the right side of the fork. And we were at our destination within 10 minutes. So we were like, okay, we asked a question. We went down the other part of the road and it was, yeah, them, no, you were no longer in Sandy Grande, you were heading beach. I was like, all right. And believe me, at that point in time, it was getting dark.
Yeah, you don't want to be a beach when it's dark. I had a friend of mine who used to describe beach as 7 miles of hardwood. That's to tell you how many trees.
Yes. I believe if you go further in beach, there's a village of Amerindians.
I wouldn't doubt it.
But it's way down the road. So yeah, we got lost, but we found our way. Common sense prevailed and we turned around. So yeah, that's my story.
Glad you found your way back to civilization. All right. As we're speaking of stories, we are going to share our story of a hot chocolate contest. I made hazelnut cocoa and Joe, what did you call your chocolate concoction?
Chocolicious.
Chocolicious. Oh.
Yes.
All right. So we're just going to give you the recipes just in case these intrigue you and you want to try it at home and try the same hot chocolate contest. So for my chocolate hazelnut cocoa, I had 2 sachets of the chocolate hazelnut mix. Google it, you will find the brand. We're not promoting for free. Then in a pan, I warmed up like around 2 cups, which is like 500 ml of milk. And as the milk began bubbling, not boiling, just slightly bubbling, so I knew that it was warm. Then I stirred in the 2 packs of chocolate mix. You can do like me and put some marshmallows on a skewer and toast it until it gets that nice golden brown for garnish, or you could just pop the plain marshmallows straight out of the bag on top of the hot chocolate. But I loved it.
Yeah. Well, that was hers. Mine was a bit more
fancy.
It had technique. Well, yeah. Just say, this is the difference between me and Flo. Flo did measurements. I eyeballed it. I use 2 tablespoons of chocolate mix. It's a lovely dark cookie. Y'all will get what I'm getting at. I use 2 spoons of that. I put in roughly about a cup or a glass of milk. Regular milk, and I put chocolate chips to melt in that solution on the stove. So as it bubbled and the chocolate chips melt, well, it was really semi-sweet
dark chocolate chips.
Mm-hmm. So when the chocolate chips melted, I kept stirring, and as it stirred, it got thicker. So, at that point in time, I poured it into a glass and add let's always say more milk to it. It basically cooled it down and it filled the glass. So it was basically half of my chocolate solution and half of the warm milk solution.
Okay.
So, I just dropped in some baby marshmallows and that was about it.
Well, I have no hesitation to say that Joe won the contest because it was dark and thick and uber chocolatey just like him.
Sweet. Well, yeah, it was 2 different tastes altogether. Mine was more of a cool day like you're probably experiencing in other parts of the world right now, where you could just sit and bundle up and sip on that alone. But hers was more, it was a little thinner. So it was nice to have with a sandwich, which we made.
Yep. We had some grilled cheese.
We made grilled cheese with sliced turkey, mozzarella cheese, and Swiss.
Tasted delicioso.
Yes, and of course that turned into a competition as well. She grilled her own with mayonnaise, and I grilled my own with butter. So, which one you thought was better?
I like your hot chocolate drink. Like I say, thick. That's not something I could have often. That's like a real special occasion, indulgent, because it was that rich.
A comforting drink.
Yeah.
Comforting.
Yeah. Rich and thick.
Yeah.
But I also like your grilled cheese with the butter. Mine I didn't mind because I wanted to try the grilled cheese with the mayonnaise. I've never done grilled cheese before, admittedly. So I just wanted to try this quote-unquote hack that people always talking about, putting mayonnaise on the outside of the slice of bread and frying that first to give it like a crispy outside. And it wasn't bad. I enjoyed it. It just was a little bit saltier than
for some reason, yes.
With the butter alone.
Just for information, folks, when you put mayonnaise on the bread instead of butter, it's a little more salty than just using the butter.
Yeah.
So just a thing, if you were into a lot of salt, some people more into savory and salty stuff, have the mayonnaise.
Yeah.
It's better with the mayonnaise if you're into salt. But if you want a more balance, just use butter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice.
It was.
Yeah, it shows two totally different people making basically the same thing, but it tasted differently.
But I like the fact that we were able to compare the differences in real time. Like we basically cooked this together at the same time, and
yeah, we did.
We were able to watch each other. We watch each other's process and then sit down and enjoy both our grilled cheese and the hot chocolate. Like which we prefer. I like mine, but like I said, Joe was the winner of the hot chocolate contest. So, speaking of contests, some people aspire to be #relationship goals. This term, relationship goals, became popular sometime around summer of 2014 when it appeared in dozens of articles devoted to couples being particularly romantic. The #relationship goals also became a common way to refer to celebrity couples in particular, which led to psychologists warning that comparing one's life to a celebrity relationship is detrimental. And I totally agree. Because as you would have heard me ask at the outset, is #relationship goals, is that what you aspire to be, or is goal setting really essential? And I think the latter is true. So, that being said, we are going to discuss some of the relationship goals I think you should have a conversation about in your relationship.
All right, yeah.
You open to that?
Yes, I'm open to that.
Right. For me, if you are an avid listener or you are part of our Forever family and you've listened to a couple of our episodes, from time to time you would definitely hear me mention things about spirituality. And I think one of the key things I believe in keeping our relationship together and stable and both parties on the same page is that they need to share this more or less the same spiritual foundation. So perhaps one of your goals could be to pray together. And honestly, whenever Joe and I do this, I feel more connected to him. I feel as though I can respect him as the head of our family and our relationship. Because it just there's just something that warms me, that I feel comforted and protected knowing that he thinks of spirituality as important.
Oh, yeah, it is. It is. Because without God, there's nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing really happens. I challenge you all to take this as a test. Wake up every day for 1 month. Not even 1 month, 2 weeks. And the first thing before you leave your bed, say thank you. Tell God thank you for waking up this morning. According to how you work. But thank you for arising to see another day. Try that. And slowly but surely just add things that you are thankful for. And look and see if you see any changes in your life. Small as they might be. You might be smiling more. People might treat you differently. But for me, the overall feeling is different during the day. Knowing that you have given thanks for seeing another day. You know, even if your toe aches, be grateful for that, because a lot of people no longer can feel that toe ache. So be grateful for the little things. So give it a try.
Yep. And I think another goal that is important is for you both to work on improving your health together. Like, I don't know about any of you, but one of my biggest concerns is us not being our whole selves as we mature.
Yes.
You know, because while I am happy and prepared and willing to take care of Joe, no matter the circumstances, you want that experience of being able to just freely enjoy life together.
Yes, have a fulfilling, energetic, vibrant life.
Yeah. Because, I mean, you know, with sickness or illness, you then have to make accommodations to everything. Even if whenever we get back to the new normal and we could travel again.
Yeah. And that's not only thing, the financial part of it is like, whoa. We could understand why some people become doctors.
Yeah. So one of the topics for this season is a 30-day health challenge. So stay tuned for that. Let's see. This is the first time Joe is hearing about it, so his eyes are open wide. But stay tuned to find out how that works out. That's to tell you how serious I take this particular goal, because I want us to get healthy and sexier together, you know?
Smith and Weston, y'all could sponsor us, please.
Excuse you.
Thank you very much.
Excuse you, sir.
The sexiness she talking about. All right, I will need some protection.
All right, speaking of protection, the next goal is financial stability. You know, that protection for hard times, because we know the vicissitudes of life. That's one of my father's favorite phrases, the vicissitudes of life. They affect us all. So obviously we need to have a rainy day fund, something to help us deal with when the hard times roll around.
Yeah.
And I know that's definitely a goal that Joe and I discuss quite often, because I know he says to me, babe, I can't wait for the day when we could literally spend the whole day together.
Yeah. Don't have to be going in and out, working for the man. You know. But that day will come. I speak it into being.
Yes. So, and in order to make it a reality, obviously, you have to develop a plan, you know, and have goals, because each person's circumstances are different. You know, everybody's lifestyle is different.
Yeah.
What works for one couple definitely wouldn't work for another. Just stop to think about it. We know it have the adventurous people who can't sit still and they always like to be out and about doing stuff. Whereas Joe and I, we are more home buddies. Yes, we go out, but we don't have to be out and about all the time.
We don't have to be seen all the time. We don't have to be in everything.
So therefore, our cost of living will differ from another couple. So you sit down and together work out what are our essentials, like what are the key things that we need in order for us to be stable, have that rainy day fun, and be able to weather the storm if and when it does come.
Yeah.
Right.
What's next?
So this one, is near and dear to my heart, is keeping the spark alive. That's the whole premise of this podcast. Journey to Forever. If you've heard me say it once, you've heard me say it many times. Forever love is a journey, not a destination. So in order for you to enjoy that journey, you have to find ways to keep the fun in your relationship.
Yeah. Have to keep it exciting.
Yeah, man. So for me, Joe knows I will bug him sometimes. I was like, babe, I just want to go out. I don't care what we do. Just, because for me it's important to do something different, like to have a new experience at least once a month. Just do something out of the ordinary. It doesn't have to be anything extravagant, but just have that new experience. And in that new experience, you get to make a memory, and months and years go by and you'll be like, remember the time?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good thing. It could be simple as take a drive somewhere, go have ice cream and walk. Just simple conversation time. Enjoy the outdoors.
Yep. But it has to be a non-negotiable, because trust me, life has a way of always finding things to keep you busy. So if it's a negotiable day or time, you would always find something quote unquote more important than doing that. So it has to be something non-negotiable, like here's what we committed to this, then let's stick to it.
Yeah.
Forget
unless
everything
it have
else.
really unforeseeable circumstances.
Yeah, unless it's a dire emergency. Yeah. And the last goal is to serve each other. Listen, I remember, and I've mentioned this on a previous podcast, one of those in season 1, where speaking to a therapist and the therapist bringing to my attention, saying that like a relationship, or, going back using what we speak about often here, your love tank. You in a relationship, when you are of service to your party, you are literally taken out of your love tank, right?
Yeah.
And if your significant other doesn't pour into your love tank, then eventually your tank will dry up.
Yeah, you will run on empty.
Exactly. So I think it's very important for you to recognize how you can be of service to that person. We're not just talking about doing chores and stuff, but like really showing up for them, actually being a partner. I know that Joe doesn't like to ask people to do things, but the way he says things sometimes, I listen to what is not said more so with him. No, I do. And he because he is communicating, but he doesn't like to be direct, because I think if he thinks he's direct, it might seem a bit confrontational, and he doesn't necessarily want to start an argument. But I read between the lines, and I know when he wants me to show up and be there for him. So figure out your partner, listen to them, listen to what is not said.
True. But folks, I'm fortunate. Flo says everything. Everything. She says everything. Yes. She is a talker.
Meaning what? I ask for what I want?
Yes, you are a talker. You have no problem with expressing yourself verbally.
Yes, and you know that I also ask you, like, how could I be a better partner?
Yeah. So it's about balance. I guess she balanced me not talking, because I have been more or less, self-sufficient most of my life where I always have to cater for myself. You know, I have to solve the problem. I have to be there for me. You know, and having someone there to lend a helping hand without even asking, that's pretty good. And talking about that right now, I believe that has filled my love tank. Yeah.
Segue, boy, segue.
The thought about it, yeah. So, folks, yeah, my love tank is filled right now. I'm feeling joyous and happy with grilled cheese and chocolate.
Yeah, because I was now going to say, you skip out the thing to eat.
No, well, you see, this whole program here now was thing to eat. We were filling the mind, the soul.
And the bellies.
We were filling our energy levels, speaking about the exercise, you know. So, everything, we filled everything today.
Yes.
In this one podcast that we're doing here, yeah, my love tank was filled by this. Yeah, this right now, at this moment.
This conversation.
Yes, this conversation, it did it for me.
Okay.
So yeah, what filled your love tank?
What filled my love tank? Listen, there is nothing sexier in my mind than knowing that your partner needs you. In my mind. Seriously. Because people could see you and desire you, you know?
Yeah.
But
they don't really need you.
Yes.
They just want you.
Yes.
Okay.
But I know that Joe needs me in his life.
Oh, yeah.
He needs me and he wants me.
Yes.
Yes. And it's just the little things. Like I say, I know how to read between the lines because I know him by now. And that fills me with joy. I'm like, okay, he's serious. He's serious.
Yeah, how is he?
What's that?
How is serious? Well, I serious, so
Yeah.
how is he? Okay, that's a corny joke, folks.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't get how one. It went over my head, sorry.
Yeah.
All right, so this was a short and sweet one today. But but as Joe said, you got everything. Your thing to eat segment was definitely a grilled cheese. Like, you figure that out. Try both of our suggestions.
Yeah, and try something new. Tell us what you will put in a grilled cheese sandwich. I don't know. We're always open to new foods, you know, we like to eat. So, let's know. Talk to us.
Yes, so as always, thank you for listening to the Journey to Forever podcast. You can connect with us on Instagram at Journey to Forever TT. Also, be sure to subscribe on whatever app you're listening to this episode. And if you happen to be listening on Apple Podcasts, we would appreciate if you leave us a 5-star review. Until next time, remember that forever love is a journey, not a destination. And the fuel that keeps you going is communication.
Have a great one, folks. Bye.